On a scale from 1 to 5, 6.
What's up? What it is, what it do, how y'all feeling, how y'all living? It's your boy Alan saying the place to be, y'all. Like, subscribe to Are You Bugging? Welcome back. Took a little hiatus again, little under the weather. But I'm here. I made it. Follow Al You Bugging on Instagram and YouTube at Al_you_bugging. Shout out my Sideline Talk family, John, Herb, Tay. What up? All right, y'all. We got a quick show tonight because there is college football on tonight. The second half, the second matchup of the semifinals. Oregon versus Indiana should be a good one. You got two first-round quarterbacks dueling it out. Dante Moore is my guy, so I'm pulling for Oregon. But Mendoza is a beast, and Oregon got to go. Oregon got to bring it. And whoever wins this game is going to match up against Miami Hurricanes. And I'm from Baltimore. Baltimore and Miami roll thick as thieves. But I'm a Gator fan. So anybody that's playing against the Hurricanes, I'm rocking with. So whoever win this game is my de facto champion or team I'm cheering for in the championship because I'm a Gator fan. But Miami played a hell of a game yesterday. Shout out to Carson Beck, ran in the game with a touchdown. Trinidad Chambers was denied his 6th year of eligibility, so he is coming out of college this year unexpectedly. I want to see where he falls. I don't know how many people. Well, he's supposed to be getting prepared for another game if they'd have won last night. So it can't be too far behind and, getting ready for scouting combine, getting ready for draft stuff. But Trinidad Chambers is an amazing quarterback. Did an amazing job with Ole Miss, especially keeping that team and galvanizing that team, with the coach and great players that they have. Sunterrain Perkins probably made a lot of money last night because he was everywhere. But Princely, I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name. He probably made some money last night as well because these guys was everywhere for Ole Miss. But Trinidad, very accurate quarterback, great, quick decision maker, quick to read the blitz and react on that. I want to see he's probably going to be a day 2, possibly 3 pick in this draft. And with the right team and organization, he probably can develop into a solid quarterback, at the next level. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get y'all out of here early tonight because college football coming on in less than an hour. So let's talk about NFL football real quick. Starting first game tomorrow of the NFL playoffs, the Rams going to Carolina. A lot of people are expecting, the road team to win. Carolina has been up and down. Carolina has beat the Buffalo Bills, but it lost to Tampa Bay. Been very up and down. I definitely see the Rams dominating this matchup. I believe I don't know why I keep saying I believe. Of course I believe. I'm telling y'all, and it's coming from my mouth. Verse and Fisk is going to get after Bryce Young, and confuse him all day. I just don't see Carolina's coach matching up with Sean McVay. I don't see Bryce Young matching up with Matthew Stafford. T-Mac had a hell of a rookie season. There's nowhere near Puka or Devontae Adams, who they should have back. I'm ready to roll for the playoffs. I just don't see how this game is particularly close, even though the Panthers, they beat the Rams earlier this year. So the Panthers have already won against the Rams, and the Panthers were on the road, if I'm not mistaken. So it could definitely be done. Definitely be done. And Rams know not to play around and play around with their dinner and keep them around for too long. So I got the Rams winning this game. And then the nightcap, you got the Packers versus the Bears. Green Bay should have their starting quarterback back, Jordan Love. Josh Jacobs should be ready to go as well. I know when they played the Ravens, they didn't. Jordan Love didn't play, and Josh Jacobs didn't get many carries at all. And then, they had already locked everything up. Of course, they didn't play Week 18. So, first week back in Chicago, who won the division. Now, they've played to a draw, I believe. It's 1-1 in the series, season series so far. With I can't think of the quarterback name, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams won the last matchup. At the end with an amazing comeback play and deep shot and pretty much a walk-off touchdown for them. I believe the Bears are going to win this game. If I had to pick, I believe the Packers can win, but I believe the Bears will win this game. Again, I believe in what Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are doing. Unless Caleb Williams completely falls off, and that run game completely dies out, I see the Bears winning this game. And then you get over to Sunday's matchups. Buffalo is going to Jacksonville at 1:00. There has not been more pressure on a 6 seed ever in the history of NFL playoffs. Josh Allen and Sean McDermott need to win this game. I keep saying I believe. Lord. Josh Allen and Sean McDermott mainly playing for a job, especially with John Harbaugh out there, which we're going to get to a little bit later before I sign off. Coaching for a job. There's no Lamar Jackson in these playoffs. There's no Patrick Mahomes in these playoffs. There's no Josh Burrow in these playoffs. Those are the last two quarterbacks have beat them previously in the playoffs. They're not there. They played Baltimore to damn near tie last year. They're not there. Buffalo needs to assert their dominance and take this run and run with it this year. But again, it's not going to be an easy task. The Trevor Lawrence that I nicknamed Trev has been showing up these last 9 weeks for the Jaguars. He's been playing amazing football, the best football. Liam Cohen finally unlocked Trevor, and that's exactly what I was hoping I would see with him going there. Liam Cohen has done a hell of a job, just like Ben Johnson's done a hell of a job in Chicago. I feel like Liam Cohen should get that same respect on the AFC side, winning the division, being the third team, had a chance to threaten for the 1 or 2. So Liam Cohen in his first year did an amazing job, but I don't think this is where that story ends for them at home. And that sucks for Josh Allen. Like, this game is really a toss-up. Buffalo can win it. And Buffalo should be favored in this one. If I gotta look at the numbers on this, what's the line? All right, so Bills are favorite, like I thought, given the 1.5. So it's pretty much playing to a draw. But Jacksonville has been nice. That defense has been great this year. Like I say, it's a coin flip. If I had to pick and, flip a coin, it's Jacksonville for me. Just I want to see Trevor go further in the playoffs. I want to see him have an amazing run. I don't know if he's going to get to a Super Bowl, but I would love to see it. So that's a bit of the fan in me of Trevor Lawrence saying, go ahead and let them win this. Not letting them win, but if I had to make a pick, I would go with Jacksonville. I think Bills are susceptible to the run, and Jaguars do have a good running back. But Bills do have the number one runner. I'm sorry, number one league leading rusher, and James Cook. So it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be the most exciting game of the weekend if I had to pick one. But I'm hoping Jacksonville wins. Let's put it this way. I think the Bills are going to win. I hope Jacksonville wins. Now everybody's happy. Philly versus 49ers. Eagles versus 49ers. Philly versus San Fran. Got on one hand a coach that I think is really good. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's the defending champion. I think he's really good. Versus a coach that I know for a fact, without a Super Bowl, is still an amazing coach. I know for a fact that Shanahan is in the running for Coach of the Year. It's probably been his best year coaching, depending on what he had, considering what he had to work with for the whole year and his team getting put together and losing Fred Warner and, the heartbeat of your defense. Brock Purdy wasn't out there. Had to win some games with Mac Jones. I think Kyle Shanahan did a hell of a job coaching this year. But I'm going with Philly. And this one, they are hosting the 49ers. It is going to be, a winner game, grinded out game. You got Mac versus Barkley. And I think Barkley and that offensive line of Philly wins it. I don't think the Eagles won a Super Bowl and the division and third seed just to be winning done in the playoffs. That's just they got more championship moxie than that. So I'm going with Philly to win at 4:30. All right, and then Sunday night, Chargers versus the Patriots. It's time for Justin Herbert to win. It is time. At first, when he had Brandon Staley, we was talking about, he don't have a coach. He got Jim Harbaugh now, a proven winner in this league, proven winner in the college level, proven quarterback whisperer. His numbers have gone up. Greg Roman's done a hell of a job with that offense, and not putting everything on Justin Herbert, putting a lot on, letting Justin Herbert move more. It's time. It's time for the Chargers to win something, dog. I just don't see them doing it. New England Patriots are really, really good. If they are healthy, I got to look at Will Campbell if he's playing. If they're healthy and the Chargers line is not, I got Vrabel figuring out a way to get at Herbert and making him be very uncomfortable. But Herbert has yet to win a playoff game, and this is year 5-ish. Want to say year 5? Herbert got to win. He has to win. He just a hell of a matchup for him. Being the 7th seed and going up to New England, Foxborough, trying to restore the glory of the Patriot way and what they used to be with Tom Brady, and them boys, Tom Brady and Rodney Harrison and Tom Brady and Gronk, trying to restore those days. They're trying to do that, and that place is going to be rocking, hosting a playoff game for the first time in 5 years, 4 years, somewhere around there, hosting a playoff game. So yeah, that building won't be rocking, and I got New England pulling up not the upset, but defending the home turf at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. I think they do it. All right, y'all. I put this off for as long as I could. Baltimore Ravens, the team I love, the team that is near and dear to my heart. Baltimore Ravens finally parted ways after 18 years with head coach John Harbaugh. Let me start it this way. John Harbaugh is an amazing coach. He's done an amazing job for 18 years. Won a Super Bowl, brought the Super Bowl championship back to Baltimore. Their second one, Ray Lewis's retirement party, ended up at the bank celebrating winning the Super Bowl, and the city loved him for it. That was in 2012. We are in 2026 now. Happy New Year. In between that time of 2012 and 2026, the fans have been starving to get back there. And it's only thing I can say is it's time to try something new, try something different. Every week we're hearing a different report of somebody not happy in the building. Now, it could just all be coming from the same league. They see, Lamar walking with his head that ought to be not happy with something. You see Lamar say something about, man, we got to execute better in the red zone. I don't know what we're doing down there. Todd and Lamar having an issue. John say something to the media about what the offense is doing. Him and Todd is having a riff. That man stood on his own merit and volition and belief in his guys. And that had something to do with him being exited out of the building after his meeting with Bisciotti after 18 years. So on one hand, I do appreciate everything, all the memories, all the great games, all the fun that John Harbaugh brought to Baltimore. But on the other hand, and the real life hand, I've been saying this time, I want to see somebody come in and establish a mindset, a grinded out philosophy, a tough guy philosophy in the locker room. Something that we've been missing. I don't want to say that leadership went out the door with Ray Lewis. I know those guys are in there. I just need somebody to bring that out. Right? Like I said, it's this time. I don't know what Harbaugh has in mind, but if I'm him, I'm definitely being courted on the town. My first time, Harbaugh's first time as a head coach, he wasn't as touted, didn't have the resume, didn't have the, the coach of the year, didn't have the Super Bowl, thing that he could put his hat on. Now he does. So if I'm getting courted all over this country, if I'm Harbaugh, and champ, you deserved it. You deserve it. You've earned it. Get every single thing that you demand because you've earned it in this league. Like I said, I want him to be an amazing coach. I just don't want him to do it in Baltimore anymore. Speaking of doing that in Baltimore, it's an interesting time. We got a lot of interesting candidates for the head coaching job. There are 3 that the Ravens have announced to be a candidate that I would love either of these 3 guys. So these are the 3 guys that I love. And then I'm going to give you the 2 that I would like. I'm going to give you 3 guys that I love. First name, my first pick is Brian Flores. Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for Minnesota. Toughness. Now he's a little prickly. He's a cactus, but Shit, even cactus got water, dog. Like there's no value in a cactus, if you will. So he's a little prickly, but he has that mentality, that grind, that philosophy that I was talking about. He's very aggressive on defense, and we need that back. We need to build this defense back up to being tough and teams not wanting to go at us. Like there's been things that teams have done over the years that it wouldn't have flown with a tough coach. I'm sorry. And again, I'm not saying Harbaugh is not tough. I'm just saying someone that has a defensive philosophy that is no nonsense. Right? So Brian Flores is coach number one. Door number two that I would be ecstatic if he's our coach, Robert Saleh. Again, another defensive guy that has proven, has coached on the big stage. That's another thing with Brian. Brian was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots Super Bowl. I know for a fact the last one, but he was defensive coordinator. So he coached on the big stage. And last year the Vikings were in the playoffs. So he's coached in the playoff stage. He's coached the big game with the Patriots, calling the defense. So he's big game ready. So was Robert Saleh. Was the defensive coordinator for 2 San Francisco Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken. So again, he's called plays on the big stage. He's ready to go. No, I don't think he was there at the second one. Well, he was there with the first Kyle Shanahan Super Bowl. For a fact. I know that for a fact. But again, tough, no nonsense, very aggressive on defense. Players love him. So Saleh for me, because the players love him and he gets a lot out of it, Saleh for me is a very strong, I don't even want to say 2, I would say 1B. Because he's right there. I would have the same ecstatic reaction to saying Brian Flores is my head coach as to saying Robert Saleh is my head coach. So those two are definite hell yeah for me. The third hell yeah, bring them on for me is more of a crapshoot, and definitely a third would be Joe Brady. They've announced that Joe Brady, they've requested to have an interview with Joe Brady. Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator of Buffalo. I've already mentioned Buffalo don't win, they might be out. So Joe Brady will be pick number 3 for me. Again, offensive mind, kind of he would help Josh Allen get an MVP. I have no doubt in my mind he will help Lamar get his third. Right? There's just no doubt in my mind. And he's in Buffalo, which is a defensive culture because Sean McDermott is a defensive coach. I'm quite sure there's tons of coaches in the building that he could take with him to be our DC. Coaches know coaches. Again, he knows the offensive guys that's working with him now there. Offensive guys around, college and NFL. So I would have no problem with Joe Brady being our coach. Again, it's a little out on the limb. I've never seen him actually coach a team as far as the head coach, which is a lot different than being an offensive coordinator. They're 2 different roles. But I would be ecstatic to see him try. Again, John Harbaugh, before he came to Baltimore, didn't have, a coordinator background, had no experience. Nobody knew who he was. And it turned into 18 years, 4 AFC championship games, and a Super Bowl. So you can take a chance on the unknown. I have no problem with that. 2 guys that they've mentioned interviews for that I actually like. One will be Cliff Kubiak, the offensive coordinator in Seattle. Again, Mike being out there, Kubiak His dad, Gary Kubiak, was the head coach. I'm sorry. Well, he was a head coach. He was head coach in Denver and in Houston, but his offensive coordinator here under John. And Joe Flacco had his best year under the Gary Kubiak system. Clint Kubiak is pretty similar to that. There's very high praise, so I could be, I could you bugging, but I could see Clint Kubiak having a Kyle Shanahan type of, my dad's a coach, I've executed my dad's system, and I could see Clint having that hell of a run. So I would like that. Again, this is a guess. It's a shot in the dark. He is fairly young. So my question is, would he be able to galvanize? Would he be able to instill that mentality and philosophy that I'm talking about the Ravens actually need? Would he be able to do it? And then the last guy that they've mentioned, they have an interview with that I like is Anthony Weaver, defensive guy in the Baltimore tree. He played here, coached here. You know what it means to play like a Raven. Again, I question instilling a toughness because Miami, not necessarily his fault, not necessarily his culture, but Miami was seen by national media as breakdancers. And just, the Corvette. When it's sunny and clear skies, it's a hell of a time to have that drop top Corvette racing outside. But this is Baltimore. This is the AFC North grinded out. Your Corvette ain't made for the rain. Your Corvette ain't made for the snow with the top down, dog. It's just not. So can I trust that he will bring that grinded out mentality to the AFC North that's needed? Let's just say that Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin both are back. They both want, they muddy it up. They love to muddy it up, man. Shout out to Coach Mike. Loves to muddy it up. I don't want nobody that's over here, that's the head coach of Baltimore, that's tiptoeing. You go in there batshit crazy. Pardon my language. You go in there crazy as hell when you going against the Lion. And if that Lion sense fear or sense any type of back down, your ass is eating. You's done. You's then done. So those are my head coach candidates that I would love to have in Baltimore. So hopefully next week I can come back to y'all with some updates of, who they interviewed. I'm trying to see who they actually like. Because there's some interviews that I believe they just taken just to be courteous to certain people. But they don't really have much of a shot. But again, I didn't think John Harbaugh had much of a shot in 2008. And again, thank you for the ride, Coach. Much future success to you. But you see it on the bottom. Subscribe to the Substack at alyoubugging.substack.com. Next week is the championship game, so I should be talking to you about that. Go Oregon. Be blessed. Be productive. Be more. I love you.